Great. I just wanted to make sure I could see who was on the call and whatnot. Okay, so hi everybody. Elisa Johnson and Courtney Hilborn on the call today, along with Kylie, marketing from Dogs Unemployment. And thank you so much for joining us for our second State of the Union. And I'll be kind of briefly covering our status up to the first quarter of this year and kind of give some program updates. Starting with, if you were on our call or if you watched the call from our Q3 of last year, we really had a pretty strong call for action, and we put out to our community this need that we needed to re-bolster our foundation for support. And so it was kind of a little doomsday-ish. And so I'm really excited today that it's going to be a little bit more open forum. I want to kind of get into maybe some more Q&A this time around, as I do have a lot of great program updates to share with everybody. So with that, I'm just going to kind of state some quick updates for you all. So to start with I'm sorry, I do not have a presentation today, because I did just kind of want to make this a little bit more conversational. And we are also I am in the process of finishing up our 2023 annual report. So all this information, all the stats, all the data that I'll be stating is all going to be included in our annual report, and that will be our guidance that will be available on our website if you would like to go back and take a look at any of this. So last year, when we kind of closed the year, we were at this kind of challenged area where we had a kind of this lull period during the pandemic where we really were not able to successfully recruit DoD boarders. And as deployments were put on pause, we saw a decrease in border registrations. However, then as deployments and military operations started to pick back up again, we saw an increased need within our pets and our military communities, but the border registrations didn't follow in that same trajectory. A lot of this is to do with just social media, because that is our number one way of actually getting our pets exposure. And something right off the bat that we realized that we had lost was a strong social media presence. So one of our first things that we did was search for a volunteer to come on board with Dogs Unemployment, and that volunteer is on this call, Kylie. And when we had put out this call for support, and we knew that we needed to increase the awareness of the problems of military pet parents and how the community can come together to support them through Dogs Unemployment, Kylie really took that as, I don't know, your main objective for the end of the year. And we launched the Join the DoD Border Reserve campaign. We had a really ambitious goal. We were trying to recruit 500 new boarders, and we were aiming to raise $15,000, which was a successful campaign the year before. And while we didn't get to 500 new DoD boarders, we did get 174 through the campaign, and we raised $18,000. However, the following month, in the following quarter, we actually saw over 220 DoD border registrants. So very, very happy with our increased engagement with border registrations. We've seen this already have an impact on our pet placements. Believe we are let me just double check before I give something false. Okay, so in 2023, 2024, we were seeing about 30 to 45 pets be placed each quarter. And already in Q1, we've seen over 50. So we are seeing a better placement rate now that we have more active DoD boarders. and we are getting more engagement and signups on our website thanks to increased social media, as well as we've initiated a few new things, activities to our Hero Pet Boarding Network, which we have also referred to in the past as our National Pet Foster Network. Essentially, this is our website where you go to as a military pet parent, you register your pet, you become approved through our application system, and then once approved, you have access to our DoD borders. Being able to see more people utilize this on a more active basis. We've been increasing our e-newsletter distributions. So if you're not subscribed to our e-newsletters because they were annoying you in the past, totally understand. However, now with Kylie on board, and we're also recruiting additional volunteers in marketing and content creation field, we really are trying to tailor our e-newsletter marketing to be more specific towards the type of supporters that we have in our network. If you are a boarder, if you are a pet owner, if you are a donor, or if you're just a military like spouse organization or a community organization, we're trying to give more content to our audience members that they actually want to see and read, and that's important to them. So there is an open feedback loop that we are creating with our engaged supporters. So we do welcome that feedback. You can contact us via email or schedule a call with us if you'd like. So the other part of our increased activities are our webinars, where we are now doing 2 different types of webinars once a month. We are now hosting a DoD border webinar. So this is intended to invite the community to a call where we have members of Dogs in Deployment. Kylie will, or I'm sorry, not Kylie, but one of our volunteers, Karen White, will do an interview with a special guest. So far, we have had Dorel from the San Diego Spay Neuter Action Project, which is one of our partners here, which I'll get into about that success when we talk about the Rich Setzer Memorial Fund. And we're going to have Good Pup, which is dog training, on our call. And so we're really trying to interview people and ask them questions that are related to military pet ownership, to the boarding experience, etc. Excuse me. The other webinar that we've started to do that Kylie is the one that does the interview is once a month. We're sitting down with a pet parent who has used Dogs on Deployment services before, and we are interviewing them, asking them about their personal experience and giving their testimonial. And so we have 2 right now available on our YouTube channel. I highly, encourage you guys to watch and share these videos, because these are really the case studies that I feel the organization has not been able to share effectively, because it does take a lot of resources and it does take a lot of people to come together to make these kind of activities happen. So we're very excited. One, our biggest accomplishment is bringing Kylie on board to the organization, initially as a volunteer and now as a part-time employee. So we really are focusing our attentions on the awareness piece of our Hero Pet Boarding Network, making sure that we are engaging with our new boarders. We're right now in development of looking at our website. If you've used our website before in the past, we initially designed, I initially designed the website that you are currently using on deployment when I was in Kuwait in 2015. And that is what eventually got programmed and launched into the Dogs on Deployment website that you see now. And my point of that being is that you will see glitches, you will have errors, you will have problems using it, because the system is becoming outdated as technology has improved. Mobile devices are now our primary way of people using our website, and yet our site is not mobile friendly. So technology for the Hero Pet Boarding Network is actually the core of what we do. And this is also something that we're going to be working on, trying to garner specific types of funding for, because we need technology updates to make our national boarding network successful. It's very easy to think that all we need is a contact us form and Courtney on the back end to be making these connections. But in order for us to assist the volume of military pet parents that turn to dogs on deployment, and in Q1, I believe we had 555 pet owners register to receive services from dogs on deployment. We cannot handle all those applications without the use of our website, which is the product that fuels the Hero Pet Boarding Network. So currently we are going through a proposal where I am going to be putting out a new tech update, and we're going to be seeking funding sources both through sponsorship and through grant funding to support an improvement. Our launch plan for that is to begin development, receive some quotes through the next couple of months, and then start development about Q3 this year, and hopefully have something to release that will be a much improved website, an application that will be mobile friendly. It will also, which is also huge, because when you think our pet parents, when they deploy overseas, they usually don't have a computer, and so they're using their cell phone devices. It will also allow easier pet deployments. One of our biggest problems is military members are not deploying their pets to the appropriate border. So the border is not receiving the information that the pet owner has put in their account that is for them. So we're going through all of these really critical features, putting together a proposal, seeking funding for, and our intention is to release it by the end of this year or next early quarter next year, so we can create a more positive user experience for our boarders as well as our pet owners, and most critically ensuring that we're actually able to get pets in need connected with people that can help them quickly. On the Hero Pet Boarding Network, as we close out this last quarter, our official number is 2,950. So we are very proud of this, and you know, this is kind of my continued call to action, though, is our work never stops. And if you've been watching the global environment, our work might actually be just beginning. So we are in a state right now where we understand that there is a potential for rapid deployments and short notice deployments. And as I was looking at some of our statistics and the user data that we collect, one thing that really stood out to me was 83% of our pet owners that turn to dogs on deployment to find a volunteer foster home rely on dogs on deployment as their first resort. And we don't want this. We would prefer that we are people's last resorts, because that is the intention. You know, we want people to have pet plans in place. But the reality of the situation is that there aren't other resources, or aren't a lot of other resources for military pet parents, which means that they do heavily rely on dogs on deployment borders to find temporary care for their pets while they're on deployment. So our Hero Pet Boarding Network, again, is fueled by this website that we are going to be initiating tech upgrades. Yes, you can definitely post your question in the chat about the web upgrade. But it's fueled by the website, and then we're also initiating border webinars once a month. They're also available on YouTube. Deployment diaries, case studies of our military pet parents that actually benefit from using dogs on deployment, and updated newsletters and distribution for content. So these are some of the improvements that are being initiated now, and we hope to continue to see positive feedback as we implement these changes. I'll just check this chat really quick. Make sure. Okay. So our second program for the organization is our Rich Setzer Memorial Fund, which, let's see, to date, think, how much has it been granted to date? I think we're at 950 something $1,000. So granted to military pet parents. So this fund has 3 specific programs that fall underneath it. We have a veterinary assistance fund where we provide emergency or veterinary assistance for emergency surgeries, chemotherapies, long-term treatments, etc. We also provide a pet PCS support grant, and we provide spay and neuter. On the emergency financial assistance piece, we are presently looking to continue our relationship with a local San Diego organization. We had a partnership with Ethos Veterinary Health, where we were able to develop a in-kind donation to veterinary services within San Diego. However, that veterinary they had a change of command. So we're hoping to reinitiate that partnership to offer in-kind discounted services to pet parents in San Diego. Our PCS program, I think one of the biggest kind of successes this year was, as of January 1st, the Department of Defense actually passed legislation, and they passed new support to military families that allows a reimbursement for pet travel due to military travel. I believe it's $550 for in the United States, and I think $2,000 for overseas. Now, while we're really excited that the Department of Defense passed this, the unfortunate reality is that we have also seen like a 200 to 400% increase in the cost of pet travel, especially for overseas travel, just due to the impacts that the pandemic has had on the airline industry. So our greatest request for financial assistance is pet PCS help. As far as Dogs Unemployment is aware, we are the only organization that effectively and consistently issues financial assistance for the purpose of moving pets and keeping them together. As pet PCS continues to increase in cost, Dogs Unemployment has also started to acknowledge this and open our boarding network to pet parents that maybe cannot afford, even with a grant, even with a reimbursement, still can't afford to take their pets with them to their next duty station. So based on that, we expect to see our border network to also be a bit affected, because we're going to see potentially an increase in the average length of boarding period that's being requested from our pet parents. Presently, the average length of boarding is about 5.9 months. However, PCSs can be up to 2 years. So we do expect to see that increase in length of boarding as we see a greater costs associated with pet PCS travel. To give kind of a broad stroke of financial impact, a pet that might have cost $2,000 to move from San Diego to Japan, when I first started this organization, is now more like $5,000. And when you think that a pet parent has to pay to ship their pet there, and then they have to pay to ship their pet back, now you're looking at $10,000 for one animal. So for our organization, it really puts us in this like tricky conundrum, because that is a lot of money for one pet, and we want to have maximum impact. So again, feedback loops to our supporters. We are working on how do we develop partnerships with pet PCS transportation companies to perhaps reduce these costs. How do we search for sponsors that might be able to support this particular program initiative? And how can we continue to bring this to awareness to the Department of Defense that, thank you, the $2,000 is great, but it's still not cutting it. They have not increased their Patriot flights for pets. Those are still very difficult to get on. So we are doing our due diligence to try to solve that problem as it continues to be a need in the community. The final program under the Rich Setzer Memorial Fund is our Spay and Neuter initiative. And this initiative we've really hound in on in our San Diego local community, which while we are a national nonprofit and our border database is national, we have a specific concentration here in San Diego, given this is where we started the organization and it's one of the largest military communities. Due to the proximity to several military bases here. There is a partner that we have, the San Diego Spay Neuter Action Project, where if you are a E4 or below in San Diego County and you attend a appointment for the SNAP bus to have your cat or dog spayed or neutered, Dogs in Employment actually pays for this. This is one of our most, I guess, successful, more proudest partnerships and programs, because we have spayed and neutered probably over 1,500 pets in San Diego at this point. Exact number will be in our annual report. But the idea that we can provide this for junior enlisted service members has inspired us to take this one step further. And we launched Operation Pet Wellness in San Diego in partnership with the SNAP bus, San Diego Spay Neuter Action Project. And so once a quarter, we actually bring the bus to near a military base or in a military community, and we provide 30 spay neuters that day, as well as unlimited free vaccinations and microchips to military veteran pet owners. And our first one was done in February of this year. It was very successful. Our bus was fully booked. We have lots of pictures and we put up a blog. So if you're interested in seeing the success on that, please check out our website's blog. But the Operation Pet Wellness has been a fantastic way for us to create these events at military bases to really showcase this ease of access to bring your pet to the SNAP bus at your local military community, get your pet spayed or neutered, get them microchipped, get them vaccinated, and also providing them with resources during these events. We have plans to make connections with dog trainers to attend, local community organizations that provide veteran support services. And we've even considered doing a food drive. So all of these things are in play. Again, if you're listening to this and you have ideas or ways to support, please contact us. Our supporters are how these things go from ideas to actual execution. Okay, so in addition to our programs that have been existing, so the Hero Pet Boarding Network and the Rich Setzer Memorial Fund, we are working on a few new things this year, including a partnership with Good Pup. Good Pup is a virtual dog training organization that was recently acquired by rover.com. And essentially they provide dog training virtually, where you have an issue with your pet, you make an appointment with a dog trainer, and they also have 24-hour response. So you can text and get a response within 24 hours. This is something that has been a huge priority, but we have not yet found the right partner. And we're very excited that we believe we found the right partner in Good Pup to be able to provide twofold services. Both, we want to promote responsible pet ownership to new pet parents in the military by providing them with scholarships to Good Pup. And then the secondary piece of that is when a DoD boarder gets a dog in boarding from a military pet parent, if they experience any sort of problematic behaviors that require a dog trainer, we would then also provide them a scholarship to utilize Good Pup services during their pet owner's deployment. Now, these training scholarships are not free. They are highly discounted, but this is going to be another program that we're going to be initiating for grant funding, for sponsorship, so that we can provide dog training services to ensure our military pet owners have well-behaved dogs and our boarders feel supported if they have a dog that has separation anxiety or any other behavioral issue that we don't have, internally, we don't have the resources to assist with. So I've kind of talked about our programs. These are our three main programs that we're going to be focusing on going forward into this year. And we're really trying to revitalize the way that we are engaging with you, with our supporters, with our community. And so in addition to these YouTube videos that we've been posting for the webinars, and also increasing our newsletter distribution channels and the content that's being put in that, and increasing our social media presence, we're also continuously looking for volunteer support in several different facets. We are going to be building a boots on the ground program. And this is going to be centered around how, and if you've been with the organization for several years, this is actually something that is really what got Dogs on Deployment off the ground in the very beginning, which was, I'm a person in my city and I want to help dogs on deployment. What do I do? And we are developing a kind of pamphlet, a product that we can give to people and say, here are several ways that you can support dogs in deployment through your local community. Some ways that we've been establishing that are doing affiliate type marketing. So if you are an independent contractor, independent business owner, or independent sales consultant, what have you, or you're partnered with a larger company and you're looking to align your marketing objectives with Dogs on Deployment, we would love to do that, because when you align with us, we want to reach your clientele in order to provide them with the information that Dogs on Deployment exists. This is definitely a awareness campaign and less than a fundraising campaign. We are obviously a nonprofit, and so we are always constantly seeking sponsorships and financial support. But again, our organization needs awareness in order to be successful. And so that will always be our number one priority. And that is where the marketing affiliate program will really come into play, is how can we align ourselves with local companies to get the word out about dogs in deployment more integrated into local communities, not just through events, but by doing other things like co-branded swag or rack cards that we can pass out to people, or co-branded booth tents and whatnot. So that is one of our boots on the ground aspects that we're developing. And we are also trying to rebuild our coordinator, our events presence in some particular locations, such as San Diego and other major military towns. So always keep that in mind. If you are in an area that is highly impacted by military communities, and you have not been to an event and seen a Dogs on Deployment booth, that is because we don't have volunteers in that area that are doing booths for us. So if you're interested in joining us in that regard, again, we open our doors for those communications so that we can have a kind of more engagement on our local community. Other kind of just organizational news that I feel is very important to share with everybody is Dogs on Deployment had a revamp of our board of directors this year. We did a lot of screening in 2023 and recruitment to find a very diverse and very helpful and supportive board of Dogs on Deployment. So if you're interested to see who is now on our board, please visit our website. And our board nominations remain open. We are still looking for board members to join us in various capacities, specifically with our technology upgrade that we're looking at. I am looking for people that have experience in web development, app development, and technology platform development and product. So I leave that out there, as hopefully that will just go out and someone will come back with some interest. But as we have sought to kind of look at the health of the overall organization, what I've really wanted to put emphasis on is the leadership and the community aspect of this very grassroots organization. I always feel like I have to kind of fight and say it's just the three of us with our volunteers that are running this organization, when we look a lot bigger online because of the product, which is the website that allows us to help thousands of people as opposed to just a small section of people. So we're constantly looking for support that way. Kind of to leave you ahead of how you can support today. If you didn't already see on our social media or on our website, April is the month of the military child, and we have a brand new campaign that we've done this year that we're really proud of, called Operation Storybook. One of the reasons why I love this campaign is, one, it's this very sweet children's book for about elementary school age children, preschool age children. But it's a story about a military family, and the mother gets orders to go overseas, and the child has this dog, and they have to leave their dog with a boarder while they go overseas for a year. And then after a year, the family comes back and they get reunited with their dog, and it's so sweet. But when I read this book, because Katrina Moore is the author, and when she published it, she sent me a copy. And what really resonated with me was the fact that this was a book about a military family, but it was really just a book about missing your dog. And it's so universal to any child that could read this with their parent, that when we posted this month of the military child campaign, it was much less about raising funds for dogs in employment, or even raising awareness for dogs in employment, but more so, how do we bring the conversation of philanthropy and empathy into all families across America? How do we make children resonate and understand what a military child goes through? We show them a story with a military child that goes through this thing that any child could understand what it's like to miss your dog. And so our purpose behind the Month of the Military Child campaign, it's called Operation Storybook, is really to raise awareness of the challenges that military families face through this book. The book is called Sometimes Love. And on the back of the book, on the very last page, it actually has a whole description of dogs on deployment. So we are asking for a $40 donation for Operation Storybook on our campaign website. We have an option that if you wish to have that book donated to a military child, we will also do that on behalf of the donor. And this has been a really great way for us to showcase a special project within Dogs on Deployment. So if you're interested in supporting that, in addition to just, if you would like to contribute to a book, we also have little graphics that you can share on your own social media and say, I support this project, go check this out. So again, really relying on our supporters for this grassroots sharing of what we're doing. And so that way we don't have to pay Facebook money to boost our posts, because we would rather you help us do it. Let's see. And then coming up, you'll be noticing very soon that our mascot will be changing. Nala forever will be our mascot here in San Diego, as long as her owner Hillary is continuing to be stationed here or lives here. But nationally, our new mascot, we relaunched our America Hero Pet of the Year campaign this year after a one-year hiatus. And we have found Daisy and Wren. Wren is a flight student, and she has two dogs, but Daisy is our mascot. And we're really excited because if you're familiar with the organization or the story that started it, I was in flight school when I started Dogs on Deployment. And so we're really kind of excited to share this legacy of, that was, 13 years ago, and there's another female aviator in flight school with a dog who needed somebody to board her dog while she went into training. the story keeps going. And so all we want to do is to continue to raise awareness that our need has not gone away. And if anything, it has only increased as more and more military people learn about us, more and more of them come to us for assistance. And so, yes, please also follow Daisy and on Instagram if you're on that, because she has her own Instagram account, and we're really excited to be working with them. And then finally, which you'll be kind of seeing come up for May of next month, and then through the summer, we're going to be working on a mental health awareness campaign for the month of May. And we're going to be doing some PCS resource sharing to for summer, when we have a lot of summer moves coming up, and making sure that we're putting out resources there for how you can prepare for your pet to move, which really goes in line with our Rich Setzer Memorial Fund's objective of providing those pet PCS grants. So we have a lot of revitalized efforts for our programs that have maintained their importance throughout the years. We are increasing our volunteer kind of database again, where we are now in that recruitment period, looking for people to come on with professional skills to assist in various ways. And also finding this, or also improving our boots on the ground to give any supporter their kind of toolkit, a toolkit to be able to support dogs in employment in their local community. With that, I'm going to open it up for any questions that we might have.